All right, welcome in everyone. Today we are taking a close look at a super efficient 75-second English lesson that's been specifically designed for a 2026 audience. If you want a fast, highly effective way to make your spoken language sound incredibly refined, you're definitely in the right place. We're going to dig into exactly how this lesson uses storytelling and context to teach rather than just throwing a boring list of vocabulary words at you. Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with a 75-second challenge, look at the interview scenario, do a vocabulary breakdown, and finally, wrap things up with a learning method. Let's kick things right off with Section 1, the 75-second challenge. Right out of the gate, this challenge just grabs you, doesn't it? It says, today, let's make your English sound more refined. Bam! There is absolutely no ambiguity here. It sets this incredibly professional, aspirational tone, letting you know exactly what kind of value you're going to get out of the next minute and 15 seconds. Moving right along to Section 2, the interview scenario. Now, check out how the emotional journey of our imaginary job interview maps out. It's actually really clever. The script doesn't just list vocabulary, it weaves it into a relatable experience. You start at point 1 feeling apprehensive. We all know that nervous, jittery energy, right? But as you find your footing, you transition to point 2, the middle of the interview, where you're composed, you are calm and handling the pressure. And finally, you hit point 3, walking out feeling optimistic. It's a complete narrative arc built entirely around strategic word placement. So the crucial takeaway here is this massive contrast between two completely different communication styles. First, you've got superficial answers. Those responses that just totally lack depth. The script positions this as exactly what you do not want to do. But contrast that with the alternative, sharing your ideas with conviction. This means expressing a strong belief with absolute, unwavering confidence. Honestly, this shift from superficiality to conviction acts as the ultimate turning point in our interview story. All right, diving into Section 3 now, the vocabulary breakdown. Back in the story, the interviewer really appreciates the candidate's meticulous preparation. Meticulous. It basically means being extremely careful and paying attention to absolutely every single detail. Interviewers literally love this stuff because it proves you put in the effort. It's a fantastic word to drop into your professional vocabulary when you want to emphasize your thoroughness over just saying, "Oh, I was careful." Next up, the interviewer notices the candidate is remarkably articulate, meaning they're able to express their ideas clearly and effectively. By embedding this word right into the scenario itself, the lesson literally shows you what it means to be articulate in real time. That is exactly how you want to be perceived in any high-stakes environment. Then, the story throws a curveball, a really difficult question. But our candidate doesn't panic. They offer a pragmatic solution. Pragmatic just means practical and focused on realistic solutions. Using a word like this proves you're grounded in reality, You aren't just up in the clouds offering vague theories. To round out our whole lexicon without missing a beat, let's quickly lock in the remaining building blocks of our success story. Apprehensive means feeling nervous or anxious. Superficial is lacking depth, just skimming the surface. Conviction is a strong belief expressed with confidence. And finally, composed means remaining calm and totally in control when the heat is on. Providing these concrete definitions right after the story is brilliant because it ensures you aren't just guessing at context clues. And that brings us to our final part, Section 4, the learning method. Okay, this right here reveals the format's secret sauce. The source explicitly points out that this structure works perfectly for modern short-form video, like a YouTube short or an Instagram reel. Why is that? Well, because the story comes first and the vocabulary explanation comes second. It's a game changer. It forces viewers to actively listen and get swept up in the natural flow of the narrative before their brains just sort of passively read dictionary definitions. But true language acquisition actually comes down to these two specific actionable steps. Step 1, repeat the recording 3 times. This is huge for building familiarity, nailing pronunciation, and getting the pacing down. Step 2, try using at least 3 of these words in your own sentences today. This step is absolutely crucial because it demands that you immediately take the vocabulary out of passive understanding and force it right into active, practical use. As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to pass the challenge directly to you. We've deconstructed the scenario, we've analyzed the meticulous vocabulary, and we've uncovered the active listening method driving the whole thing. But look, knowing the words, that is only half the battle. The real magic always happens in the application. So looking at the words we've covered today, if the words you choose literally dictate how the world perceives you, which 3 words are you going to use today to redefine yourself?